Hey Woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. I got a little project today. Let me explain something. Boy, I got the hoarse throat again. Wow. I must need to turn wood. That's what it's got to be. Alright, I want to talk to you about what we're going to do today. Got a little wood, got a little turning, got a little project, got a few other things. But we're going to get all this. You know what you got to do, right? You got to watch. Hey, as we get ready today, what I did was I found a piece of, I'm saying it's mahogany. It was on a shelf outside the shop. It was about 40 inches long. So I'm guessing it was a sleeper off of a package that came in here like Dunwich. And honestly, Dunwich is a great source of lumber. Dunwich. What do you get in Dunwich? Whoever ships, boats, cargo, trucks, planes, trains, whatever, unload, they normally have Dunwich because they use it to block and hold things. It doesn't get sold as regular lumber when it gets done because it isn't. It isn't regular lumber. It's not regular size. It doesn't meet the 66-2 standards or anything else. It's just wood. When I was in cabinet making trade school back in the 60s, early 60s, whoa. We would go down to the port of embarkation in New Orleans. It's the big facility for the Navy. And we would load a raggedy ass, that's a term, pickup truck full of Dunwich, bring it back to Delgado to work with. The reason we did it was free. Number two, we didn't have to take the pieces with the nails, but if we did, we knew we had to get rid of the nails. And there were no sweeps and magnets and all that. You had to look, if you saw a hole, you had to poke something to make sure it wasn't a nail in it. But we would use this Dunwich, and I got some beautiful furniture I made when I was there, out of Purple Heart, Cocobolo, Bird's Eye, pieces of wood that got shipped from all over the world that came in here as Dunwich, and when it gets pulled off, the crews would just put them in a pile because the trade schools and the woodhounds would come look for it. So if you're looking for wood, kind of give that an idea. Find your local cabinet maker and see what he's got for a throw-out box. He won't throw a lot away because it's like throwing away money. But if you get wood, then you get it. Alright, what I've done is I found the centers on this. Now, this is not very center-rific. Well, it's not real square. It's close, but it's not a lot. But I've got a center, and I've got a center based off of 2 points. I want to set this between 2 points, knock it down, and show you a little something about sanding and finishes, all in one video. Now, I get some guys that say, okay, you got 2 channels going on. I got 1 channel. The one I told you is where all the videos are going to be. And we're not going to do 2 kinds of videos. I believe my videos should all involve turning. Some days it doesn't. Well, today it does. You see this? I don't know if you can hear it in the background. That's my lathe cranking up and stopping. We had a control problem. It was in a little button switch here. Well, those buttons aren't made. This thing's 18 years old. Those buttons aren't made anymore like that. So I contacted the folks at One Way. They sent me a replacement part. It goes right in there. It took me 5 minutes. It took me 5 weeks of pain and misery playing with that button to get past it. But now I'm back to normal. Yeah, you put off some things that are very easy to do. Well, this was one that was easy to do. So my purpose of that conversation is take care of your lathe. If you haven't checked the belt, check the belt. If it's time to grease up some things, grease up some things. I just moved my bed. Now this is an unconditioned space. I just moved the tailstock on my bed. I unlocked it and pulled it back, slid it around. I got a friend of mine, every time he comes over he says, how do you do that? I can't do that with mine because it sticks. Well, you're lucky that it sticks to some degree. It needs to bind down. But if it's too hard to move, then you need to clean it up. Cleaning it up takes steel wool. That's the only time steel wool comes to my lathe. is when the steel wool, the top of the waves, the inside edge, and the bottom edge. You didn't think about that bottom edge. Remember, it goes over, under, and then back. And that plate that binds it, binds on the under. So you bind in the over and the under together. Right. So if it's slip on the, pardon me, slip on the under, got the hiccups again. It'll always walk a little bit. If the finish gets underneath there, you don't get it off. That's where the steel wool comes in. You can use number 4. You're not going to move the steel. You take the finish off. Clean it up real good. Do not wax the underside of that lathe. Do not wax that. You need the grip someplace. And then you'll get the better grip and better slide. Okay? I want to put this between points and we'll get started. Take care of that lathe. Because we're going to spin this and I want to get it round, I'm going to back it off. I'm going to put the point in where I found the cross. Alright? The other one I've got in a spring-loaded center. Stibe center. It's got teeth and it's got a point in the middle of it. That'll hold it and not let it fly out, but it doesn't tear the wood up so bad. I'll put it in and I'm going to snug it down. Then I'm going to set the brake. That's an important part, setting the brake. Now I've got it locked in, set down. I'm going to put my longer tool rest on and get the turning. We're going to turn this thing round. I've got it between my revolving center, and the one I use is made by One Way. Jet or Delta, one of those other companies, make another type of it, but shop the price. And I've got a Stibe center over here. Now this is one of the spurs and a little center point. Why? Because this is this doesn't have a shape I can grab easily with a chuck right now. So I want to make it into a piece that I can, if I want, grab it with a chuck. But the purpose of this is to show you a couple of things. But I'm going to spin this pretty good speed, and I'm going to do 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to do a safety check. I'm going to see what's around that shouldn't be around that I got to get moved. All right? That's first check. Number 2, there's no jewelry, no rings, no watches, no crosses, nothing, no jewelry, no bling. All right? That's important, no bling. And the third is I want to mask up. Now you notice the hat went away. The mask, the shield came down. Now what is this? This is a Uvex Bionics. I see more and more of these out there. They come with several models, changes, and see the prices. Be careful about the price. Now, I'm in a business. I sell things. But be careful about the price because you want one with the better shield on it, not the cheap Flexi shield. You know, a little bit better shield. If that thing comes off there and kisses me, I want it to kiss this first and stop, not kiss me. And I've had my bell rung. I know what it's like. So let's shield up and do it. All right. Now, if you can understand me now, you're doing better than I am. This is called roughing because you're taking something on a rough shape and you're trying to make it round. So to do the roughing, I'm going to go with a roughing gouge. Do you see that? That's a roughing gouge. This has got an Elie Avocera grind on it, which means I'll swept the points back a little bit. For me, it makes it a little bit easier to get the cut in there. But it is sharpened on the 45-degree angle. I don't hone it, don't polish it. It's made to do some rough cutting. Shield up and go. Couple of quick tips. When I was roughing and I put the gouge over the top, you heard that knock, 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 knock. That was Yeti Castle and is a round test. It's a patented test now. Alright? Because I'm not round. But I've got some flat spots I got to get out. Just got to move the tool rest in a little bit. I got about 3/4 of an inch here. I don't want that much. Now why didn't I just move it while it was running? That's a real bad move. Moving it while it's running gives you a chance pushing that tool until that piece. And if this hits this piece, there's a good chance this piece will hit your mug. So let's take our time when we get it done. Shield up. One little flat spot right there. I'm going to take that off, but I'm going to take it off with a skew. Why? Because I want a smoother, even cut. And I got some nicks and bumps in my tool rest. So the nicks and bumps are showing up as a ridge, a ridge, a ridge. So I'm going to go with my sandpaper. Just check to see if my tool rest has got a little trash on it. Hope you can understand what I'm saying now, but simple trick. Keep that slick, that'll be slick. I think I did this a minute ago, but I got a catch. And I got that catch because I presented it skewed the wrong way. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. When I have the machine running, I want to rub the bevel and twist my hand and make it turn on. Minimal movement on muscles. What are we talking about? If I'd raised my hand up, my whole arm, I probably would have engaged it too soon. If I brought it in square and straight, I'm just going to do a plow. But if I can twist my wrist to turn it on and turn it off, then I can control my cut a little bit better. Now I'm rough. I'm really rough. But I'm going to sand at this point because I want to show you where we're going with finishes. So I'm going to dump the tool rest and go right to the sandpaper. This video may run a little long, which means because of uploading, I'm going to have to split it into two. But that's okay. I'll pick up one right where the other one leaves off. This is my self-powered sanding rig. It's simple. You can build one at home. It involves a bushing and a bearing. The bearing is magnetic, which holds that pad in. Hear it click? Might not hear that, but it clicks in there and stays. Angled and straight. Now, I don't always put on an interface. See the little foam interface? This gives the pad some cushioning, some ability to move. Now, if this was a rolling pin and I wanted it to be dead flat and smooth, I wouldn't use the plate because I wanted the beefiness of the yellow pad to work the best. But since this is not a rolling pin, it's just a piece we're going to play around with, we're going to go ahead and start with a 120 grit. And all my sanding supplies come from Vince Welch at Vince Wooden Wonders. And there is only one Vince's Wooden Wonders. A couple of people knocking off the name, but there's only one. It works if you put the pad on the right way. There you go. Now, that is a 120 pad, and it's on a facing, and I'm going to turn the lights on. Now, the problem is, right now, you hear it, that's much too fast to be sanding. So I'm going to crank the speed down. What I believe is about 400 or 500 RPMs. Now, I don't know if it's 400 RPMs or 500 RPMs. It's just moving fairly slower. I don't want to burnish the piece. I want to sand it. And I want to approach it with a sandpaper. I'm going to make contact. Here it is. Here's the clock. I'm going to make contact right here. Got it? You can see it, the pad is finished. I'm making contact on the clock at about 7:30. And you see the dust coming off. I have a little fan overhead that blows down on my lathe. And it fans my dust collector. Well, not a collector, an avoider. Because it blows the dust away from my face. It's cheap, real cheap. Walmart saw them on sale the other day for like $7. Clip-on fan. Do not leave it running when you're not in the shop. It's not a great motor. It's not a great tool. It'll overheat and burn up, burn your shop down. That was 120. Now, 120, I knocked off a lot of the rough spots. I still have the divot I had in there. I'm leaving it alone right now because I want to show you that later. But I'm going to go from 120 to 180. That's the 180 paper. And I'm going to keep stepping up. I'm going to switch over to a 220. Now I'm seeing some difference. I'm seeing a fast look at chatoyance. I'm starting to see what the wood looks like. I'm eliminating scratches. That's real important. You're not sanding for the sake of being smooth. You're sanding for the sake of bringing out the beauty of wood. And that's why I'm using a rotary sander. Self-powered rotary sander. Now, I can control how fast it goes just by the twist of the wrist. But I'm going to take 220 paper, knock this thing down. Now I'm starting to see some quality of wood come out. I went to 320. Now here's the deal, and I might sound like a broken record. If you didn't sand at 80 at 120, you left some marks in there. Then if you skipped a couple of grits, you left more marks in there. The marks will show up as scratches. And the scratch is going to hide your finish. So I like the rotary sander because it cuts over, down, and around all at one time. Makes for a much nicer cut. And once you learn how to master it, when you want to make contact at, it's relatively easy. Do not fight it, it'll fight you back. This is only 320 grit. don't know if I want to go all the way to 400. And all the way to 400 is big for me. This is, of course, wood. And God made it to have a certain degree of quality and texture and reflectance. And I don't think we have to go way over 400 to get over 320 to get there. But if I think I need to go 400, I will. But I'm liking what I see here. I'm seeing a fairly smooth finish with some reflectance coming up. That's my goal. The goal here on this first part of the demo was to get a board straight. Get the kinks knocked out. I used a skew and my roughing gouge. Ashley Hardwood, happy birthday one day late, Ashley. I just remembered it's your birthday. Ashley Hardwood shows that you can do planing cuts and finish cuts with a gouge. You can do planing cuts and finish cuts with almost anything. The key is ride your bevel, control your tool, and know how it's going to cut. I don't want to be crass, but if you just juke it in there and hope for the best, that's all you're going to get is hope. You're not going to get the best. So learn how the tool cuts. On its skew, ride that bevel, twist your wrist, get it to engage, and play with it. Do this on a rough piece before you get into your final pieces. You'll be able to turn little bitty fine finials like Cindy Droza does, like she taught Jim Creel how to do. He's going to be a SWAT. Oh, that's August 24, 25, and 26 in Waco, Texas. My opinion, my humble opinion, the world's finest wood turning experience. Okay? SWATURNERS.org. If I get it right, it'll be up on the screen. Now, I'm going to do that. Now, this piece is ready for the next stage. What am I going to do? I'm going to put OB Shine Juice on one part. I'm going to put Sanding Sealer on the other. And I'll leave the third plain. Then I'm going to put real finish on it. But that's my steps. I can go from raw OB Shine Juice, which is shellac with oil, deft Sanding Sealer, and raw wood. I'm going to show you that and how to get a good finish out of it. All you got to do, get out in your shop and start making some shavings. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. Take care, be good.